Best pizza in Austin, home slice or Buffalina?
I think I've had muffalina, right? I'm not like a
Domino's.
yeah, I'm
Oh,
not like a hardcore
all right. Wrong question
pizza.
there.
Yeah, I'm not
Didn't
like
work. But we'll talk about Congo for a second.
Fantastic movie.
You're out of your mind.
No, where? Okay, name me any other movie that has the same type of like wild, out there, sci-fi. Tacos, hot dogs. But
I mean,
never
you
know
mean
stuff
that
like-
hot dogs are tacos?
Sure,
Because
one way or the other, right?
no, I'm definitely think that it should be.
Hello and welcome to the Wormhole. My name is Jamie Burchell, and you are listening to and or watching our podcast called Wormhole Pinball Presents. And today I'm really excited to chat with two people I've got to know really well because of streaming pinball. I'm talking about Rebecca and Jordan of Fliptronic. How's it going in Austin, Texas, guys?
Good.
Hot.
Yep.
But
Yeah.
yeah, we're giving y'all a run for your money on weather.
Well, we're under construction. As you can see, we're hanging up a bunch of signs and we're doing a lot of renovation work here. So, but at least it's cool inside.
Hey, I've been at Wormhole when it's hot. I'm very happy when it's cold.
Yes.
What candy is in the candy dispenser on your right?
Skittles. And then
Excellent.
these were Reese Pieces.
Excellent,
But
excellent.
I can't have Reese Pieces next to me because all stream I'm eating them. So I haven't refilled that.
Just more Skittles.
Well, the Skittles, don't go as much as the Reese Pieces. That's a popular item here. We have it on free. So, I mean, you
I
can get as
mean,
much candy as you want here, I guess. I mean,
I did
So
not
first-
take advantage of that.
yeah, first of all, for those who are not familiar with Rebecca and Jordan, they either host or hosted. Okay. I don't know. We're going to get to that later. So don't answer that, please. But we're going to tease the audience. They either stream or streamed on Twitch called Fliptronic. And Becca is or was on a podcast called Backbox Pinball. So
It's
depending
just a
on
whole lot of who knows.
it's a who knows, and depending how this interview goes, we'll find out later. So, but both are very entertaining and very visually impressive. And one more ass kiss before we start, okay? When we first started our wormhole stream, we were god awful. We were terrible. And we had a lot of fun, don't get me wrong, but we just visually and audio wise were terrible. And I sent a lot of IMs to the person next to you, Rebecca, and he answered every one of them. You were a lot of help, Jordan, and I really appreciate it. And thank you so much.
Yeah, no problem. Always happy to help.
Well, he's
Yeah.
pretty fantastic. And it's not that you haven't streamed, you just didn't stream as you. Remember when you did that whole stream in January and you weren't you?
It wasn't me.
No, you weren't
Who
you.
was I?
You were IE Pinball.
Oh, that's right.
That's right.
Yeah, you were IE Pinball
So for those that
Indisc this
don't
year.
know, at Indisc, Carl got sick, and he, like a closer in the bullpen, brought in the lefty, and Jordan came in and did an outstanding job.
Yeah, I was like, I don't remember like trying to be someone different. I'm like, what? Who?
You were behind the scenes,
Fine.
and you were in front, Rebecca. So that was a really great stream.
I like to move the rig. That is one of my favorite things to do. You know, I like to move the rig, Jamie.
I know very well, and you're very, very good rig mover. I recommend you putting that on your LinkedIn profile as
If I ever make a LinkedIn, I will be like, you can hire me to move your pinball stream rig.
So rather than start with the typical origin story of pinball like I typically do, I wanted to delve into your backgrounds really quick. All right. So
yeah.
Jordan, you have an IT background, is that right? Did you study
Yes.
IT in school?
No. No. I actually have a degree in sociology with a focus on criminology that I did. Oh, I guess I should have asked if there's like swearing on your podcast.
You can do whatever you want.
Okay, I did shit all with it. So
right.
Yeah, but no, I ended up with like a tech support job, like just a little bit out of college, and that kind of transformed into an engineering job.
That's it. It's crazy for me because you could see the technology in your streams and how good you were at it. And so I just always thought you were always in IT.
Oh yeah, that was just the tinkerer in me. Like my hobby is hobbies. So it doesn't matter what it is. I'm gonna try and like dive the deepest I can into it and figure out what's the best and what I can mess with. And so that the streaming thing was a hobby in itself to like learn about and tinker with. So yeah.
Rebecca, you're from upstate New York.
I was
How old were you when
I
you
was
moved?
born there. I'm 35 now. I was like 5 when we moved.
Okay. I was
But
going to call you another New Yorker like myself, but you
well,
5.
I am going back to New York in a couple weeks.
Yeah.
Less than 2 weeks
Mm-hmm.
for a tournament. I'm going to be going to go play with the Bells and Chimes in New York City because I'm making their trophies.
Where do
So
they
I'm going to
play?
go. So this is going to be at a private location. They have a
Cool.
few like bars. Kate Martin does a really great job of, organizing all of that. And through tournament pinball, and all of the travel pinball, I've gotten to know Kate really well. And so like I made this really cute little on the note of
Wow.
hobbies and hobbies. I have the Chrysler building and I made all of these. I have my little base. They turned out great. I have like my stack
She
of,
assembled a stack of trophies she's already made.
yeah, that's
Because the
new
new
hobby.
the new hobby for her is 3D printing.
It's been really
Nice.
bad. Yeah,
Oh,
it's
listen,
been great.
hobbies are great. I'm so into the stream right now that I don't really have time for anything else, unfortunately.
I understand. Like, well, hobbies and stuff, everything shifts. And so I feel like a lot of my focus in pinball has like really been able to like, it's really kind of shifted towards our local Austin chapter
Okay.
and like working really hard, with my friends here to kind of like build out our local scene, making trophies, theming tournaments. I think we really hit the ground running like early this year to like kind of like rebrand and really kind of build our community. And
Good.
it's been really good.
That's awesome. All right. So 3-part question here for you both. Who got you into this pinball hobby? Okay. And when did you,
That one.
so how did that happen?
So what both of us, before we even met each other, had played some pinball, but not in sort of any like tournament or hobby level, just sort of like going to a local arcade and playing every now and then, but not knowing what the heck we were doing. So that kind of led into actually picking up the hobby at one point because it was 2018 or 19?
18.
18.
The
I
year.
have this habit of going on to like Facebook Marketplace and Craigslist and just randomly browsing whatever's out there. And I saw a pinball machine for sale for $500. And I was like, hey, Becca, like, should I get this pinball machine? I kind of want to learn how it works and just kind of mess around with it and actually like maybe like learn a game. And she was all right with it. So I went and picked it up and
Everything.
it was a Gottlieb Spring Break.
Okay.
And so without knowing anything about how these machines worked, it came working. It was fine. The only problem was the playfield had some wear, so some of the lettering on the inserts was worn off. And I was like, oh, well, I want to fix this naturally. And so I started figuring out, okay, what do I need to do? Okay, I need to strip everything off. I need to like make templates to fill in the lettering, and I'm gonna have to re-clear coat it, sand it, put everything back together. And so I ended up doing that, still not knowing too much. And that's just kind of how I learned how everything connects, at least on the play field. And then yeah, I put in I don't even know how many hours of work
So
into that
many
thing.
hours.
Put LEDs in it, and I brought it to TPF 2019,
Mhm.
Texas Pinball Festival 2019, and I put a for sale sign on it for what was the starting price?
I don't know, like
1,500, yeah,
$1,500.
somewhere around there. And it was as we were leaving the show with nobody giving us any bites on it, Becca comes across somebody who was packing up their booth and was like, we're we were loading it, and the guy was like, "Oh, Spring Break, great game. Like my brother would, he hates that game." Becca's like, "Well, you want to buy it and like piss him off?"
No, I
Was
didn't
it?
say that. No, I didn't say that at all.
Okay,
He didn't say, he was like, oh man, a spring break. Like, I haven't seen that in forever.
I
Like,
remember it better.
I haven't seen it in forever. I know how much you bought the machines for, and I know how much you sold
True.
the machines for, and it all just lives in my brain. And he was talking about buying it, and he's like, I was like, well, do you want to buy it? And he was like, yeah, I think I should just get it for my brother, like as a joke. And so you ended up selling it for $900.
Yep,
Um,
completely torn apart, like repainted, re-clear coated, like fresh LEDs, like everything in that Spring Break, $900. And I'm like, I
got a
still
good
kick
deal.
myself.
and he put it up for sale. Somebody put it up for sale.
Yeah, so I put it up for sale recently, I think for like 1,800 or 2,000. And I was like, should I buy it back?
No.
We didn't.
Now I say no. I used to say sure. Now I say no
But that
more.
was the entry, was that spring break that kind of spurred the hobby.
Well, and then you took me out to like go play and a couple of things, and I got to meet everybody and
Yeah, we did. We started doing local
sucker for a
tournaments.
social scene.
Yeah,
Like
okay.
if you can get me into something and it's got people, I'm
Right.
in. And then Tracy and Kelly were like, let's start a Bells chapter. And I was like, I'm in.
Hmm.
And then I dragged all of our movie mocking friends into it. And yeah, it's been fun.
Yep.
When did you two decide to stream pinball? When did that idea come about? Like you said, okay, I want to be streamers.
So it started right. I mean, it was before COVID hit, because I had been watching Jack's streams, Dead Flip streams, and I was like, oh, I kind of want to like stream our stuff too. That seems like fun, and just kind of like show a progression or just see who can meet on it. And then also because it was a new thing to learn about and mess with as a hobby, that also kind of like was in there.
I want to stream, but I don't want to necessarily have to carry the conversation. Can you talk?
Yep.
Sure. Sure can.
I was going to ask you how did that conversation over dinner went, and
Pretty much like I can
pretty-
set it up, I can tech it, I can make it look good and sound good, and you can make it entertaining.
I said, okay.
so sorry. So I remember in 2021 at the Houston Arcade Expo, it was one of the first times I met you both, and you did a seminar on how to stream. Do you remember this?
Yeah, we actually still have a banner from that Houston Arcade Expo that has our name listed on it with the seminar.
Okay. All right. Because I didn't know if you remember, but
Oh yeah.
I was the nerd in the third row asking a lot of questions from you guys. And I'll never forget this. The first thing Rebecca opened with this is your opening, Rebecca. You're not going to make any money streaming pinball.
No, hell no.
Yeah.
That's how you
Yeah.
open it. I was like, oh, okay. Well, I guess I'll stay. I'll stay and listen.
I don't know. I feel like you get what you put into it. And it's one of those things where like you get everything that you put into it, like you hopefully will get back, which is why it's really nice like to see people putting out like great quality streams with really engaging commentary. And I think it's like you can build a community around your stream, and that's a really awesome thing to get to see and to be a part of. And the connections that you make with everybody just by, making content and traveling and going to stuff is like really all the payment
Yeah, that's the thing
I
for sure.
needed or we needed.
Yeah.
Like we definitely, I'm like, we'll never get all the money back.
No
And
way.
that's no way. There's no way. But
it's so the community itself of
oh yeah.
has really embraced us as well as they embraced you. So it has been a great payoff. Like we're going to Chicago this year. We're going to do these shows more because we're really having so much darn fun with the stream and the podcast. Why not go out and meet other people and just who love what we're all doing. So that's what we're
Are you going to the Pinball Olympics, Jamie? Because if you're going to Expo, you need to make sure that you get the time to go to the Pinball Olympics.
Okay, so I just had Scott on, who I love, by the way, who's the nicest person on the planet. He and I see his TNA behind you. He recommended that we got to buy like right away, and I think I'm gonna go. I'm gonna definitely go to the Pinball Olympics. I don't know if I'm gonna play.
Oh no, you need to play.
It's not, you don't have to think of it like a tournament.
It's not.
It's really laid back and like nobody's really trying for anything because like how can you practice playing a game where, you have to look through like beer goggles and like flip with boxing gloves while you're,
Well, those are easier to practice on, but how can you practice playing
in a washing machine
inside of a washing machine? Or I won a gold medal the year that Scott put TNA on the rotating platform that was powered by a washing machine motor?
Yeah, it was a 10 foot diameter rotating platform. So you have to like jump onto it, get in position, play your ball, and then hop off.
Yeah. And it was filled with smoke.
But to be fair, I set up the locks for her.
I should have asked him all these questions.
Your fault you didn't get them.
I didn't even ask him any of this stuff. How cool is this? I can't wait to go. Well, we're gonna get our tickets.
It's really fun.
Yeah, you have to go. It's fantastic. I wish we were going this year, but we're gonna hold it down here at home and try to get to Formula One.
Yeah.
Oh, we'll talk about that later.
Okay.
I have questions during the hurry up
Okay.
about Formula One. So, like you said before, we all go in all in on these streams. Did you find yourself, Jordan, like getting better and better at some of the OBS stuff that we have to do and some of the back end stuff? Or did you kind of already?
I feel like we came out of the gate pretty strong, but it definitely got better. There was always something to improve. And it wasn't just me discovering that. So just being sort of in network with other people like George from Don't Panic Flip or Manu from MPT3K, or Flipstream, they were all trying to find like the bleeding edge things to make pinball streaming better, whether it's like, you know, redeeming points for crazy things to happen on stream. And so like, it was through them learning how to do that kind of stuff where it was like, we could have the redeem where we could turn on the wacky inflatable flailing tube man behind me, chroma key it from it because it's green. We can chroma key it and have it displaying some kind of an image while it's flailing around, just doing that kind of stuff. So yeah, it was always a continuous improvement on something from somewhere and usually with the help of other people.
I was a very avid watcher. I stayed on the sidelines once in a while, would say hello, but I just really loved the technical aspect of what you were doing. It was really awesome.
Oh, thanks.
On getting more comfortable on the camera, did you have any issues with that, Rebecca, or were you no worries right off the bat?
No, I'm super comfortable in
Yeah.
like a camera setting. I just am sort of comfortable, I would say, like around, like I'm comfortable on a stream. I'm very comfortable interacting with people. Like that's what I do all day, every day. And so it's basically just people, but on the internet.
Sometimes she also got too comfortable. So there would definitely be times like before or after stream where I'd have to be like, don't let certain information slip, or like we still have to like kind of protect ourselves from weirdos in certain ways and that kind of stuff. So just like kind of keep certain things in mind in the background. And then
Right.
yeah.
I'm still
Right.
the person who doesn't post on Facebook whenever I'm going out of town, ideally.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to get robbed. But also I have house sitters, so I'm not as worried.
Well,
And what are they going to steal? Good luck getting the pinball machines out. And I'm poor. So yeah.
it took me a while to engage with the audience like you did. Like one of the things I struggled with was doing a stream and then talking to the chat, doing the stream, talking to chat. Now, I've gotten really good at it, I think now, but in the beginning, that was hard. Did you have any issues with that off the bat or?
Not really.
No, because we could talk to each other, so that made it a lot easier. And I think once that's going on and somebody comes, the most important thing, like especially for new streamers, is if somebody comes into your stream and you're not actively talking about something, nobody's going to engage, right? Like even if you have no viewers or one viewer, if
Right.
you're not talking, nobody's going to start engaging.
Yeah, if you're just sitting there playing pinball, no one's gonna.
Yes. So with
Yeah.
us already talking to each other, anybody could hop into the conversation at any point. So that makes it, you know, more of a thing for somebody to say something.
And I just routinely talk to myself. So
Yeah, which is why, like,
It's
if
fine.
Rebecca was a solar streamer, she would just be, saying whatever's in her mind, and that would be entertaining
God
and get
help
somebody
us
into the
all.
conversation. And that's typically what I see from other like successful streamers who are streaming by themselves. They're basically just it's a stream of conscious thoughts that they're saying out loud. And then, if they ask in their stream, like, hey, are, tacos hot dogs, they might not expect any answers, but
I mean,
you never
you
know.
mean
Someone
that
might,
hot dogs are tacos?
sure,
Because
one way or the other, right?
no, I'm definitely think that it should be tacos or hot dogs are tacos.
Yeah, but you
Yeah,
don't put
because it's
ketchup on
a
hot.
piece of
You
meat
don't-
between
true.
two things. So it's
But a
therefore
hot dog can have a separated bun, so it doesn't have to
so
necessarily
it is
be.
only a taco until the bun splits.
And
See,
then
this
it's
is
just a
what
hot
we're
dog.
missing.
And then it is
So it
just
can
a hot dog.
simultaneously be a hot dog the whole time, but at certain points it can be a taco or not a taco.
Well, the hot dog itself is always a hot dog, but like a hot dog can be a taco if it is inside of a bun that is fully enclosed, but not fully enclosed all the way around because then that would therefore, I think, technically make it a kolache.
Well, if it's a split bun, it becomes a sandwich.
Yes, so it can start as a taco and then it can become a sandwich.
Anyway,
See, this is what we're missing, but we'll get to that in a second. This is brilliant. You guys did some really cool things on stream. I'm going to name a few. All right, let's talk about it.
sure.
One of my
Oh
favorite
man.
things that I got to see Rebecca do was host the pre-Twippy party and the seminar room in the 2022 Twippies, right?
Yeah, that was super fun.
You did an absolutely phenomenal job. I mean, how was that? Because this show was really a big deal and it was produced accordingly. I mean, that was a really
20 okay, so I'm remembering 2022 because I did it in in 2023. I also did it, but it was different. We
Was
did
it
the
the one where you
pre-show with
hosted
Lauren
with?
and I.
Well, was the one with you and Lauren? Was the one with the RB Flip
It
France?
was me and Lauren, and you were streaming it. And I remember you were having an absolute like apoplectic fit
Because
because
their
the
Wi-Fi
internet was
sucks. And Jay
terrible.
from Scorbit saved my life with a hotspot.
Yeah, I thought you were gonna like die from stress.
I mean, yeah, so that's the my biggest thing with the streaming stuff and like the setup is if something goes wrong, it's like chaos for me and I stress out about it because I'm like I want it to be perfect, I want it to go
yeah,
off perfect, and if it doesn't, it's like I'm gonna get all Gordon Ramsay about it.
I'm
And I'm
familiar.
very every my attitude towards everything right now is sort of everything can be fixed. It's going to be fine, like just one step at a time, which is funny because it's either it's one step at a time and everything's fine, or everything is on fire and I'm going to die. Like there is no, I feel like I don't have an in between. It's either everything's fine or I'm absolutely freaking the fuck out right now.
Yeah.
So, and it's funny because we tend to, whenever Jordan is like I am about to have, I'm going to go Gordon Ramsay on the internet. I'm like, it's fine. And then you look at me like that and you're like,
Stream's
yeah,
canceled.
yeah, stream's canceled. We're not doing it today. And I'm like, no, it's fine. It's
But you
fine.
wanted one of the you want it to be perfect, right, Jordan?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I have a tough time going back and watching my old streams. Can't do it. But even the newer streams, if something is wrong, if a camera's off, I go, well, we got to get better. We got to get better at that. We can't make
Yeah.
that mistake again. And that's how we get better, right? It's just
Yeah.
we watch them and we beat the hell out of ourselves and we go on from there. That's been my model for life. So I got to work on that. Maybe that's a therapist call.
I
You
have a
got to,
great therapist. She's
you got,
fantastic.
I have a good one too.
That's
It's,
good.
I'm real happy. You got to see what's behind the scenes at Multimorphic and see an unlaunched pin. What game was that?
That was Weird Al.
Okay.
Oh, that was the greatest.
That was a really fun experience because they didn't tell us anything about that. They were just like, hey, well, they just basically asked if you wanted to
So I was getting
be
my
on the sizzle
nails
reel.
done. They had asked if I wanted to be on the sizzle, if I could come in and be in the sizzle reel. And I was like,
Like the launch video.
yeah. And if you're
Ah,
going to get a video of my hands, I'll go get my nails done to match the game. What colors do I need to get my nails done in? And they said you could either do orange or blue. And so that was all we had to go on. And everything we guessed was obviously wrong.
Yeah, because in my mind, I'm like, oh, they're making Portal. That's going to be great.
I'm trying to
And
orange and blue, like the Gators. I can't afford a Gators. I can't.
that's why I could only think of Portal, right? Because you make
Yeah.
an orange Portal and you make a blue Portal.
Yeah.
And I feel like they'd be the kind of folks to make a cool game out of that. And yeah, so we didn't really know much beyond that. And I hadn't really heard of any like buzzings of anything because they're usually pretty tight-lipped in a small circle of who knows things. We did know that Colin had some involvement, but we didn't really know like to what degree, or he didn't tell us anything.
And Scott.
And Scott. And so yeah, we got there and they were asking us what we thought it was and can we sign the NDA and all that kind of stuff. We're like, sure. And then we walk in and they also were already had it set up to be filming us seeing it walking in. And so we walked in and Becca's like, she knows Weird Al, but I'm like the Weird Al fan. And so when I walked in, I'm pretty sure that video's still out there. I was just like somewhat speechless, but then like I forgot exactly what I said, but I
I
was
think
like,
you
well,
said
I
dream
got my
game.
dream.
Anything.
I got my
Yeah.
dream.
Yeah, that's what you said. I said a bunch of cuss words.
Yeah. You said a bunch of cuss words, which was more entertaining. And then I had to sit there for 3 hours and watch her play it.
Wow.
You had pizza.
And I got to eat pizza.
All right. What else am I missing? Give me some other moments.
So the thing that actually kind of put us out into like the forefront of pinball streaming pretty
God.
quickly was so we knew that a company in San Antonio had existed and that they were creating a game called Retro Atomic Zombie
Yeah, that
Adventureland
company.
called
Mhm.
Deep Root. And uh I had heard that, or no, I saw a post that they were going to be putting it at What's Brewing for 2 days to get people's reactions and stuff and like, kind of get a test group going. And so I reached out and I said, hey, we started streaming recently. Is there any way I could bring my equipment down and we could stream it live? I think a lot of people would want to see it. And then it kind of became a back and forth email of kind of conditions of like, okay, well, we want to keep the stream kind of short. They can do some Q&A at some point.
We want to keep the pin bar. Make sure you get to show.
Oh yeah,
This
show
is
the
the
pin
game
bar.
that you need to do it on. Like we want to like show the deluxe version.
Yeah. They're like, yeah, you can stream for like a little bit because we want to keep the FOMO there. So we don't want to like show everything off. And so I was like, all right, that's fine. So they agreed to it. And then so we got to like, make little things and post it everywhere and saying, hey, we're going to be streaming this game that nobody's really seen before.
We don't need any mods.
Outside of some people had seen it before at other shows, but in its more like alpha versions, this was the like sort of finished prototype that they were bringing. And so yeah, we got to stream that, and it was rough because I hadn't really perfected on location streaming, and I had no idea what What's Brewing Wi-Fi was going to be like. I didn't know how I was going to integrate into the audio of the game because I didn't know if it was going to be like some other machine, which it did not end up being because they had a surround sound output. So they had like a center channel that was separate from their left and right channels. So I couldn't just capture everything off of one 3.5
No,
millimeter
I
jack.
got you.
I actually ended up talking to who's the sound guy that's like in Seattle?
Fuck if I know.
He does like all the good sound stuff for like JJP and anyway, I forgot his name. Now I'm gonna feel
Jordan can't remember his.
Anyway,
You can't remember people's name. It's fine. Jordan really can't remember.
Anyway, I was just talking to him about the soundboards and like what was going to be needed. So it ended up just being a microphone next to a speaker, which ended up sounding okay. And we had to put ourselves on the separate side of a wall so we didn't get a bunch of.
And we were like peak COVID, so masks.
Yeah, so it's masks and everything. And then of course, like Kaneda hops in immediately and is trying to start shit and cause a ruckus in the chat and stuff. And we have a couple friends trying to moderate. And yeah, it was a little rough, but
And then I read the Pinside threads, and it was basically just people insulting me and saying that my voice was shrill.
Yeah, because we had some kind of the microphone I was using was a podcast mic.
Yeah,
and so it wasn't like the nice buttery Shure microphone we have now. So it made Becca sound all kinds of like shrill.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was yelling through a mask too, if I'm remembering right.
Yeah.
We got hammered.
Over everyone.
Yeah.
That was crazy. That was a crazy experience. I'm glad we had it.
It was fun because it was our first like big stream where we got up to like 400 or 500 viewers for that.
Yeah.
That was wild.
That's huge. We got hammered when we did the first Labyrinth. It was too dark. What the hell is Wormhole doing? Da-da-da-da-ding.
Oh, those are you talking about the messages I sent you?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember those. Thank you. Those were great. I saved them all on my IMs. Thank you. All right, guys, enough beating around the bush. Are you guys, the two of you, going to stream on Twitch for Fliptronic again?
Oh, for sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Who knows when or what.
We haven't gotten rid of any of the equipment.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like we haven't gotten rid of anything. It's just been, I think that we've both been, I say we both, I've been really busy.
Just transitioned into a new role at her work.
I'm
still looking for a job, so I've got that to contend with.
I'm the busy one. I'm the problem, Jamie. It's me.
Okay.
It's my fault. I'm the problem.
We're always on to new hobbies, catching up with certain shows. So it's really more of like a time thing. So like once COVID started, kind of resolving and more things opened up, that's kind of where it took away from our streaming. And so we went from like, 3 days a week to 2 days a week to 1 day a week to where we're just like, well, there's so many things going on now that we just don't know when we can consistently stream. And that's like the key to us is to be consistent.
Mm-hmm.
We can't just be like, okay, we're going to stream Tuesday at 7 and Thursday at 9 and, some Sunday at like 1, who knows? So we
I
didn't
mean, we
do
could
that.
do that now
We
if
could do
we
that
wanted
now.
to. And so I feel like if we do like a grand return to streaming, it's not going to be like the full, on schedule of, it's not going to be something where it's like a full on schedule. It's probably going to be something where we're going to hook up all the equipment because Jordan has a sim racing rig. And that thing is super cool, Jamie. I know we haven't talked about F1 yet, but like we got really into race cars during
Ah,
COVID, and I'm still stuck in the pinball, and Jordan's moved into some sim racing stuff, and like we've got that. I've got enough 3D printing filament to like I'd say fill a house,
Yeah.
except
We
that's
do
all
we
in the
do
front room.
constantly, like, there will be talks occasionally where
Yeah.
we'll have some kind of like dumb idea, like, wouldn't it be fun to stream this stupid thing?
Yeah.
So it'll be something where it's like, oh, we love our trashy reality shows. It would be kind of fun just to like stream that trashy reality show and make fun
yeah,
of it
but
Yes.
on stream.
I'm going to talk to you about that later too.
And then the stream racing stuff, I'm like, hey, maybe I should stream that consistently, and that'll force me to practice more and like be on it more if I have a stream going for it. But then it's just going to be me, so that's not going to be as fun.
We took a pottery class.
We did take a pottery class.
Jordan made a vase.
I made a tiny little
It's
vase.
really nice. That's not bad. That's pretty
Yeah.
good.
Can't smoke out of it.
Well,
So
I
But
wouldn't
yeah,
know.
so it there's always rumblings of like, hey, let's stream something. We just don't know when or what, or
like
who
I
knows.
want to stream doing arts and crafts sometime because I got that was like right when we got the 3D printer, like I rediscovered my love of arts and crafts, which I hadn't like I've always been like an artsy craftsy person, but I got so into pinball and everything with pinball that I kind of didn't do anything else. And so now I'm like, well, I'm
We
doing
had our brief stint
pinball.
in arts and crafts category.
Yeah, well, in streaming arts and crafts, yes, but me myself,
Yeah.
I love my arts and crafts. And so I got back into like arts and crafts, but how do I do arts and crafts and pinball? And so I was like, trophies. I'm going to make
Ooh.
trophies and it will meet my pinball social need and also my arts and crafts need. And so that's been awesome. Like, and then I just keep, sometimes I win them. And then I feel weird because it's like, I'm like, I want to make these for other people, but also I want to play really well. And then I win my own first place trophy, and then I feel weird.
Several of them.
Yeah,
Well, you're playing good pinball.
I am playing good pinball.
Yeah.
Everybody's getting better. I have to work for it.
Yep.
No, I am not playing good pinball. So I'm staying more on this side of the mic.
Would you like me to make you a trophy, Jamie?
Sure. We could,
Okay, I'll make you a trophy.
You got to make them like a hole, but like it's made of worms.
Well, that would
It's like an
honestly,
actual physical
honestly,
wormhole.
that would probably look like poop, and no, because it would
No, it'll
really,
look like a donut made of worms.
I don't
Kinda
I
like-
mess with the artist. I leave the artist alone. I leave
Okay.
the artist alone. All right, couple
Yeah.
more questions before we get to rapid fire. Hurry up. What do
Oh
you?
gosh.
Which is my favorite. I love hurry up. What do you guys think of the current landscape of pinball content creation? We talked about it a little earlier, but who are you following besides Wormhole Pinball? Who are you taking in any pinball creation, content creation? Are you pretty much out?
Yeah. So I think the state of it right now, it seems like it's definitely died down a lot. I feel like, the category, at least on Twitch, used to be bustling pretty consistently at any given hour with different morning streamers, afternoon streamers, nighttime streamers, etc. Jack obviously not streaming anymore is a big gap in someone who would be consistently streaming. Carl has so many events that, he's doing work for with his matchmaking app stuff that he has to like not stream certain Wednesdays and stuff. But yeah, so as far as what I watch now, it kind of depends on what's going on for myself. So if I have the free time, I know Tuesday nights, Manu and PT3K, I'll watch him. Like usually it's just Manu. I'm watching Manu all the time. If it's Tuesday or Thursday, it's Thursday afternoon streams from Free Gold Watch, and then his obvious movie mocking stuff on Friday. I tried to partake in a lot.
And I am, if there's a tournament, I'm usually trying to watch it. So it was like I was popping in on on the Pin Masters tournament this past weekend. There's always Fox Cities for tournaments. There's Wormhole for tournaments. Um, you know, I'm really just trying to, it's one of those things where, and what's been really cool is that there's not like a designated tournament streamer anymore. I feel like there's a lot of people who bust out the stream in order to stream
Yeah.
big tournaments. And so, like, I didn't know Yipsy Pinball until Women's World Champs. And I was watching Yipsy Pinball because I was at Women's World Champs. And so, so I feel like if I'm going and I'm looking for a pinball stream, it's usually I'm looking for some sort of tournament. Um, I wish I had time to watch streams during the week. I just really don't.
Yeah. I mean,
Don't have
right
the
now
time anymore.
I'm watching a lot of sim racing stuff as opposed to pinball. So that kind of takes it up. But for the ones that I do come across, the ones that are just like fun to watch would definitely be anything that Manu's doing. Don't Panic Flip, Homegrown. I forgot the full name. It's like Homegrown Dub underscore. I don't know. I always forget the like full stream names, but
If he finds it, he'll click on it.
it's mostly the late night
Los.
streaming stuff. Laser Los. He's
Yeah,
always
I
a
like
staple.
Labels. Makes
Yeah.
sense.
See, I get home at like 5 and I'm in bed by like 10.
Yeah.
So I live that like 8 to 5 office job life now. And and Hup Challenge. And I feel like I have also kind of transitioned into a lot of my pinball content creation has shifted to like Instagram and Facebook. And so I was like, I met them in Chicago last year, but the Pinball Sisters are really sweet. I met them and then so I follow their Facebook and they always like post some fun stuff. And then I love Hup Challenge. They're always great. I don't get the chance to like watch them stream because they always stream when I'm at work, but they have a really active Instagram and reels are, if it's a video that is approximately 15 seconds long, I can watch that. Once you go past 15 seconds
All
to
right,
a minute,
I'll let Donovan
it's
know.
gone.
I'll let our boy Donovan.
Just really short things. And then, Erin from Houston is always fun to follow. And she's always posting like pinball stuff and NASA stuff. And
She's amazing.
she's super great. And so I've started to like really consume a lot of like pinball Instagram content because it is either very short reels and I can spare 30 seconds on a toilet to watch an Instagram reel. Yeah. So I've just changed my consumption. And then I'm not traveling for work really anymore. So my podcast time is like gone.
Oh, yeah.
I don't get to really listen to podcasts anymore.
That's too bad. I know one that's pretty good.
I know that one too. And someday when life gets less busy for the two of us, we'll get right back at it.
Is it the non-existent podcast that I was going to make?
No, there
I
is
was
that
talking
too. But the one that I do
No,
with
I'm joking.
my lady friend. You mean the non Jordan, you have too many projects.
I know.
Too many projects.
So you guys have traveled a lot for pinball in the past, and you're kind of lowering your pinball travel. But what are some of your favorite places that you got to visit over the last few years?
Definitely going to Chicago every time, and it's not necessarily for the expo.
The people are great.
Yeah, the people are great. The Pinball Olympics is definitely a highlight, but it's definitely the people. Because typically when we'll go to Expo, we'll get to stay with like Scott Denisi and get to spend a lot of time with him. And so, and then with him, we'll go hang out with other people like Ryan McQuaid McSquid, who works for American Pinball. Last time I went out there, I drove out to go pick something up. I actually drove from Texas to Chicago and back. And I got to hang out in Interium with Jack and Ryan and Scott and Bree and some other people, I think from Stern. And we all just played like half-priced redeem games all night, and it was a blast. So there's just a lot of cool stuff out there. And then we've taken days to actually travel around Chicago and like see the sights and stay downtown and stuff like that. So that's been a highlight.
I mean, I'll never forget when we went to like we did a Portland and Seattle trip a few years ago, and it
Yeah.
was during the heat wave. And so we were out in Seattle and our
Which you would
friend
think we wouldn't have a problem with being in a heat wave because
no, they don't
when
have
it's a
air
dry
conditioning.
heat,
There's
it
No,
there's
that's
no
doesn't.
air
Dead
conditioning.
Sea.
None.
Yeah.
Absolutely none. And so we went on like the air conditioned tour of Seattle where Xander from like Captain Zanzibar like dragged us all over Seattle. We got to meet a bunch of friends and like we met a bunch of pinball people also in Seattle. And then he dragged us to everywhere that we could find with air conditioning. And then we also got to hit up like
Bunch of places in Portland.
with Johnny Demonic,
Oh,
who now has opened his own location, and we really want to get to go. What is it, like Star Tropics or something?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, and so now we really like want to go back. California is always really fun whenever we get to go to Indisc. Like it's like watching the Super Bowl in like real time. And then you get to go to like stuff like Disney, and I get to visit my sister.
Yeah. So yeah, this last in disc was really fun because it from the friends we made in pinball streaming and pinball in general and going to these tournaments and doing stuff on the side. So like immediately after Indesk, we went to Disneyland with some people and something we hadn't planned for and just kind of happened spur of the moment is we got invited to Club 33 at Disneyland, which is like their exclusive private like
Such a nice
bar
man.
restaurant thing by Steve Sabota, I think his name is.
You can remember his name. That's
Yeah,
impressive.
he had a huge collection in California. He had like Loch Ness and King Kong, like all these
His
super
likeness.
rare pinball
That's what
machines.
I remember.
But he was a member and he invited us to come
With the
there
O'Neills.
with the O'Neills, Brian O'Neill and Allison O'Neill.
And they came to visit us, and we took them on a meet
Yeah.
tour.
Yeah, we've had several people
And
come
they
and
had
visit
to
us.
they had to get a ride home after I slammed my leg into the table.
Yep.
And I got my DeGenny for my pinball, my pinjury of 2023.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, Pintastic was also really fun.
One thing we went to that wasn't necessarily a tournament or to meet anybody in particular, but just for pinball itself was before COVID happened, we took a sort of a European vacation,
Oh,
hit up a bunch of
yeah.
different spots. And so we looked for any possible pinball while we were out there. And one we found was in Krakow, Poland. And it was this like underground basement. And it was basically just like a giant archway tunnel that all these pinball machines were in. And then they served beer and it was an all you can play for, I don't know, 10 euros or something like that. And that was a blast because we got to play like all kinds of random games. They had a Rocky and Bullwinkle with shortened legs. And I've got a picture somewhere of Becca like on her knees playing Rocky and Bullwinkle because it was like for
Amazing.
kids. So yeah, that was fun just to randomly discover this pinball place in Poland.
You mentioned that you're not going to the Chicago Expo. Are you coming to the Houston Arcade Expo?
Yeah, that's easy and local enough and always a fun party that's
Okay.
one we're gonna try to never skip.
Yeah.
Good.
It wouldn't have, it's earlier this year. Houston Arcade Expo is in October this year.
It
So,
was before the Chicago Expo, yeah.
yeah.
It's
So
like a week before,
between,
isn't it?
yeah. So between like, if we wanted to do, like, there's no way we could do both.
Right.
And so like, and there's something else in October too that I'm trying to remember.
Formula One.
Well, no, that's the same weekend as Chicago Expo, but there's another thing in October, and I'm trying to remember what it is. But there's another thing in October, and I don't know what it is.
The end of
And
October,
then
we have the Bayou Bash, which is our biggest tournament of the year.
I think it might be Bayou Bash, but then November actually. So October is a really busy month for me because November is National Adoption Month. So I spend a lot of time for work prepping for that.
Okay.
Just gotta sell those kids.
No, that's not how that works. If they Google me at work, you're going to get me fired.
We don't need that.
We don't sell the children.
Okay.
We do recruitment, though.
How
right.
have last question before a couple more questions, sorry, but how Jordan,
You
you've
can ask me
never
whatever
been
you want.
here. He's never been here.
I know.
Yeah.
I
How's
told
that
him to come.
possible?
Because I don't play in
Like
tournaments.
competitive pinball. That's the
Yeah.
that's the
Yeah.
and that's all we're
I get
really open
so
for.
it's a part of it is a physical thing because my feet have not been the best in the past couple of years, especially after doing all the streaming stuff. So supposedly my podiatrist says I have gout. So that's a part of it. But I get if I'm on my feet for long periods of time, like playing pinball and stuff, I'll get this like flare up and my foot will swell and I can't walk for like a week. And so basically, if I just can't do competitive pinball with that kind
I
of thing
wasn't
going on.
asking for a doctor's note. I was
I
just,
know that's just part of it. But then also somebody has to stay back and feed the cats.
yeah.
So that's the primary reason.
What's
So
in your
thank you,
current?
Jordan.
Thank you, Jordan, for staying back for the kitties.
Thank you.
What's in your current pinball collection right now? What do you guys besides TNA?
So we got TNA over here. At the front of the house, we've got Stars and Iron Maiden. And then I've got a couple projects that I need to kind of wrap up and sell. So while they're still in our collection, they're not going to be remaining in our collection, which is Bad Cats, Cleopatra, Future Spa,
Surf champ.
Surf Champ, Nine Ball. And then Becca's got a Game of Thrones that she's renting to a friend right now. And then we also
Never sell.
and then we also have a couple pre-war pinball machines.
Oh yeah, I like those. You bring them to the Houston Arcade Expo.
Yeah, it's well, twofold. They're super easy to unpack and pack back up
Yes.
to get in the car, and they count for free admission to the shows.
Oh, well, there you go.
Yeah.
And the ice cream is right there. So it's
Yeah.
perfect. It's a
Yeah,
perfect
Burrs.
location for you.
Burrs will always bring ice cream
I
and stuff.
know. The thing that
Pre-war
you
machines.
talked about Burrs, I feel like that was the inadvertent thing that sort of happened. Oh, that was the other really cool thing is they threw me a whole birthday party at MGC 2 years ago.
Mhm.
Like between Matt Benzik and Jessica and Rachel, like there was like a full-on conspiracy to get me a birthday cake, like in the show. And like
Yeah,
Emoto-
MGC was a good show. That was a fun
MGC
show.
was really
And,
fun.
was it Milwaukee? Right? Wisconsin?
Yes. Yeah, that was so much fun.
Midwest Gaming
Really?
Classic.
Yeah.
And
Really underrated. I feel like you could go and like have a great time and just it was
I
a really
believe
good
it was
time.
Scott who talked to the organizer that ended up getting us on the schedule to have a
And Goran.
Goran to have a world championship POG tournament.
Mm-hmm.
Because that was when we were still really into POGs and bringing POGs back. And yeah, so Scott Denisi was the 2022 MGC POG world champion.
POG champion of the
Congratulations.
world.
POG champion of the world.
Of the world. Thank
Of the
you.
world. Of the world.
Congratulations.
So I
Yeah.
don't know if that came up in his interview, but
It did not. We didn't
Dang.
cover that, but we didn't cover a lot. I'd love to get him back on in a year, and we'll talk about his POG championship.
We could just do a whole episode dedicated to POGs.
No, I've watched you guys play POGs at the Houston Arcade Expo. You had fake $100 bills, and I literally thought you were playing with $100 bills. And
Yeah.
It was the best.
I walked by and I was like, "What are these people doing?" What are
that was Scott's idea. He came
Yeah.
to the show with a bunch of fake hundreds, and he's like, "Hey, let's set up in a circle and start playing." And we all started throwing in these fake $100 bills, and then it became like bags of potato chips, and then like a
Deodorant.
stick of deodorant.
Yeah. One of the girls threw in their stick of deodorant.
And there was just people passing by, just giving us the weirdest looks, and we eventually had like a crowd of people
I
surrounding
know.
us
I was
watching.
in that crowd watching, going, "What?"
It
the
was so much fun. I mean, and then the year after that, they let us bring all the slot cars. And,
Yeah.
and then I did
Yeah, Keith-
squats. I sat and I stood up and down and up and down and up and down, getting all of the slot cars off the ground because that's what you needed me to do. And then you know what I did? My legs were on fire when I had to go play pinball. I was like, why do my legs hurt? And I'm like, oh, I did squats for 3 hours.
Yeah, I've inadvertently injured Becca numerous times.
So many times. So many times.
All right. Are you ready for the hugely popular rapid fire game? that
Sure.
we rebranded
Yes.
Called the Hurry Up. Are you ready for this?
Let's do it.
Okay. You have to swap out one of your current pins for a brand new inbox pin. What are you swapping out and what are you bringing in?
Probably. Well, I mean, I've got like 5
Do we have
games
to
for
pay for
sale,
it?
so that's pretty.
You don't have to pay for it. It's a free, you won a free game. What are you buying? What's coming in?
Swapping out Cleopatra because that's probably the cheapest pinball machine in the collection right now.
Mm-hmm.
And bringing in new in box.
I'd actually go Labyrinth.
Think probably Elton John if it's new in box right now.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair.
Yeah.
Two good answers. All
That's
right.
fair. Yeah.
What pin have you previously sold that you'd like to bring back? And I have my own answer of yours, but go ahead.
Becca knows my answer.
Oh, I know your answer. It's Jokers.
Yeah, I want Jokers again.
Okay.
Awful.
I can't
Awful.
understand how you sold your Tron.
Awful. Yeah,
Um,
it's mine would be Tron. Mine would be Tron. I miss
Absolutely.
that
You're
Tron.
1,000%. If anyone has ever been to the Houston Arcade Expo, I think you brought the TPF too, didn't you?
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it won an award, I think, at
Well,
TPF.
Yeah, we got the ribbon.
and well, it should have, because it was absolutely gorgeous.
Yeah, it was a nice Tron. Yeah, I mean, I would like that one back too. I think I sold it at that time. I just needed the money or something, or
No,
getting something else.
you traded it plus cash. And I was like, mm,
Oh, that's right.
for
For
Elvira.
Elvira.
Because you really
I
wanted
really want
Elvira. And then you were like, nah.
Yeah, it
And I was
happens.
like, yeah, I miss that Tron
Oh,
every damn day.
best pizza in Austin, home slice or Buffalina, number 1 and 2, according to Yelp.
I think I've
Uh,
had Buffalina,
yeah, I would say neither. I don't know.
right? I'm not like a,
Domino's?
yeah, I'm not like a
Oh,
hardcore
all right. Wrong question there.
pizza.
That
Yeah,
question
I'm not
didn't
like,
work.
I don't
How
eat a
many?
lot of
We'll
pizza.
just pass on that one. How many cats are too many cats to own?
4.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
What is
No
your
more than 4. 4 is enough.
four is a lot? Four is-
Well, okay. How
Well, we
much
have
space?
3.
How much space? We could not do more than 4 in our current environment, and that would get a
Sure.
little tight. If we had a bigger place, like it's the cat's scale, I would
Uh,
say 4 cats per 1,200 square feet,
yeah,
and then it would
that's a
scale
good.
accordingly.
Yeah,
So in theory, there is no limit of how many cats
one
is
cat
too
per
much.
300 square foot.
Yeah,
I love it. Favorite
just a
F1.
math problem.
What is your favorite F1 driving team, each of you?
Team
Team or
Team. I
driver?
or
want the team
driver?
first. Team first, then we'll talk driver.
Uh, so team was Red Bull, but that's slowly shifted pretty much, I think, to McLaren now.
Okay.
And then I don't know if Becca's gonna say the team of. I would think because they suck.
Is she a big Williams fan?
So here's the thing. I'm not a team person.
She's not a team person.
I'm not
All
a
right,
team
let's just skip to
person.
the next question. What's your favorite
don't do
F1
teams.
driver? Who's your favorite F1 driver?
Oh, Botas, 100%. But Valtteri Botas. Yes.
Oh yeah, she loves
I
both.
love him. I love him. I'd leave Jordan for him in a heartbeat.
Valtteri Bottas. Are you
And all
listening?
of his mullet.
I love the mullet. I love the mustache. He's got a great sense of humor. He loves coffee.
He has a cat.
There was
named
a fat
Turbo.
cat named Turbo that he had a while back. And he seems to be doing F1 for fun, and I love and respect that. And then also
Seems
just
pretty clear he's just doing it for fun.
he's doing it for fun. Well, you know what? He's on Kick Sauber. What choice does he have? You
He
just have
has
fun.
no
I mean,
excellent
also
choice.
an Alfa Romeo. He wasn't doing very
Yeah.
good. But...
When you have a crappy car,
Okay.
like it's like when you play really bad pinball, Jordan, you
Sure.
just play as good as you can. It's not your fault if the flippers don't work halfway. Like you get what you get and you don't get upset. So,
You never should have left.
So pre-hype, my favorite driver was Max.
he enjoys efficiency.
Because I like the efficiency. I like how he was more stone cold. Like he in his interviews and stuff, he was just kind of like no bullshit,
Robot.
just kind of straight robot. Yeah, so I'm like, this guy is gonna be fantastic. And of course he did that. And now I think just as far as pure personality, like Lando's there, but he's still kind of like got like this like cockiness to him that I'm not sure.
Oscar Piastri has
I like
a killer one-liner.
Piastri's pretty fun. So yeah, Piastri's kind of fun to follow. And then outside of that, like I don't know, it's hard for me. It's hard now because I'm just like Max is kind of fallen off. I'm just not sure who I want to land my alliance with.
I'm
now.
on Team Max. But I'll tell you this. When you go to New York, Rebecca, if there's a race and you have time, go to Pioli on 35th. It's right by Penn Station.
Okay. Is there going to be a race on the 14th of July?
I don't know. If there is, that's the place to go watch it. I had the absolute best time. There were Mercedes people, Ferrari. I had Red Bull next to me, McLaren behind me. It was this awesome community, and every turn and every pass, the crowd went crazy. And I've never been to an F1 live, so it was just wicked cool.
That sounds fun.
That does sound fun.
I'm thinking back in my head, Signs. I'm gonna go with Signs.
Love Carlos
Oh,
Sainz too.
Carlos Sainz. Yeah, he has no team.
He's there's really not much unlikable.
So
Alonso's old, but like
exactly.
Science is more of a
Alonso
future.
racing till he's 60.
Science is more of a feature than Alonso, and I'm like, if someone's just all around likable, it's probably Signs.
Are you currently binge watching MILF Manor 2? And can you explain the twist of this season if you are?
So we can explain the twist, but we haven't started watching it yet.
Can you
I
explain?
got to season 2.
Can you explain MILF Manor 1 then?
So MILF Manor
fan,
1,
Rebecca and Jordan.
Oh,
we're not fans technically of that. We just started watching it.
So, fun fact. So MILF Manor, which I know, I sent you this. I sent it to many people. MILF Manor 1, it is a bunch of MILFs who are at a resort, and then they're going to meet some young, hot dudes, and then, date them, I guess, because that's how reality TV works. And then, spoilers, they pull back the curtain, and all those hot dudes are also their sons. And I'll never forget, like, the reveal, and also, like, everybody's reaction whenever I'm like, you guys, I have to show you this. They're like, I'm sorry, what?
Yeah, and all the sons were told they're going to be meeting hot older ladies.
Yeah. And then, which is great. And then for MILF Manor 2, what it is you've got all the MILFs, and then you've got a bunch of young hot dudes, but their dads are also competing with them. And now here's where it gets really fun. My trash TV has overlapped. So I don't know if you watch Below Deck, Jamie.
No, I can't.
It is trash.
Oh,
I love
no,
it.
you got to.
So in the most recent season of Below Deck Med,
it follows young workers on a yacht that's
what is it like?
chartered for
You said it's
guests.
like real world.
It's like a real world type of thing because it's all these hot young 20-somethings that have to work with each other and live with each other.
Some things.
Sometimes 30-somethings, but they basically have to live with each other, right, for a couple months at a time, and things don't always go as planned.
Production, man. They're gonna throw all the wrench in them. Yeah, it's all production plants. It's fine. It's fun.
It's real messy.
In the first charter of the season, it's a bunch of like young British influencers. And I was later informed that one of the young British influencers on that episode of Below Deck was also in MILF Manor 2. And I was like, yes. And then even better is Traitors, which is an amazing show. And also like, where if you do not,
it's a reality game show.
It's a reality game show where basically it's like, I would say like Werewolf, except, Yeah,
it's pretty much Werewolf as a game show.
Oh, okay.
And it's just, false accusations flying all across the table until someone gets eliminated. And that person could be one of the bad guys or not. And it starts with like 2 or 3 bad guys.
And Trishelle from season 2, 3, I don't know. Trishelle from the most recent season of Traitors is going to be in an episode of Below Deck like this season. I think it's like this episode
I think it's the one
that we're going to watch
tonight.
Which is funny because that's how we also met a whole bunch of our pinball friends, is by playing VR mini golf. And now we just sometimes hang out in VR with our pinball friends to like watch really dumb stuff.
Did you play Walkabout?
Yeah. So Walkabout.
Get the hell out of here! There was a Walkabout Houston community here. There's a bunch of us that play.
There's an online VR Discord community with a bunch of pinball folks, and so during COVID, someone was running a league. It was Brian Dye, right? Was running the league.
That's how I got to know Brian Dye.
And we had so in that league we had Carl D'Angelo. We had
Anna Neal was playing.
Anna Neal, also like Hot Nudge folks. Was Keith in there?
Keith played for a little bit.
Keith Elwin was in the league for a little bit.
Keith Christensen, right?
No, Keith Elwin.
Oh, all right.
For a hot minute. He was there for a minute.
Yeah. Ryan McQuaid with American Pinball. So just a lot of folks playing mini golf all the time. And that kind of fell off too once, COVID started going away. Part of me is like, God, I wish COVID was still around, just because it was such a fantastic time to like virtually hang out with all these people that I just can't see because they live so far away. It's an introvert's dream.
He had the best time. He's just like, I just never want to leave and just hang out in VR on the internet.
Yeah.
And I'm like, get me out of the house.
We play Walkabout a lot. I stopped because of the streaming, but Chris Pallas, David Pollock, Keith Christensen, we all played like crazy. And I'm like, before COVID, I was a really good golfer. I was like a 6 to 7 handicap, and
Nice.
actually, I really was, not like the debate the other day, but I really was a good golfer. But I couldn't. I would get frustrated playing walkabout on the labyrinth course because I can't hit down this long hallway. You got to play it actually. If anyone has
It's so much fun.
headset, it
It's so much
really
fun.
is for like $30. It is so worth playing that
I
game.
think the base game's even cheaper than that, but it's a lot of DLC that,
Yeah,
you know,
it is
$2 or
DLC.
$3 here and there. But they've got like Labyrinth, they got what the Muppet thing now or whatever.
Oh, I love
Was
walkabout.
it? I forgot what other IPs they have in there, but it's a bunch of them. It's really weird. Wallace and Gromit.
Yeah, that's the new course.
Who would have thought Wallace and Gromit would be a VR mini golf course?
I haven't been on in a couple of months, so I haven't downloaded anything.
But they're part of their dev studio is in Austin, and
Yeah.
they've had some events out here a couple times.
Well, I love them. That's such a fun thing. If you have a VR headset, you really should play it because it's super cool.
Do it.
This one's for Jordan. Better movie car chase scene. I know you're in the sim racing. Here are the 3 movies. Better car chase scene: Baby Driver, Ronin, or Gone in 60 Seconds.
Ronin.
Absolutely.
So Ronin's
Answer
always
Ronin.
the default. Gone in 60 Seconds would be second. Baby Driver I dislike.
I was gonna put French Connection in there.
French Connection's good. I would also do what is it? White Lightning. The Dodge Challenger movie where they have to go from like San Francisco to LA or to New York or something in like a couple days. They're transporting a bunch of cocaine. Fun movie. Is it White Lightning? I forgot what it's called. Oh no, is it Vanishing Point? It's Vanishing I'm getting anything mixed up. Anyway, there's a lot of good car chasing.
We haven't done a very good job with this.
Ronan's number one. I made her watch Ronin because
the
of that
best.
car chase scene. Yeah.
Ronin's a great movie. If you want to see,
He's had me watch a lot worse than Ronin.
if you want to
So
see a badass, De Niro, Ronin.
Yeah.
All right. Last question. I have a series called Shitty Movie Great Pinball Machine, but I've kind of used that question a little too much. So pick the underrated pin out of these great movies instead of saying shitty pin, because they're not really shitty pin. They're just underrated pin.
Okay.
Apollo 13, Dirty Harry, or Space Jam. What?
And we're evaluating on the movie or the pin?
We're evaluating on the pin there.
Probably Dirty Harry. I mean, but I feel like Dirty Harry is not underrated. I feel like
the best of the 3.
Yeah,
I mean, Dirty Harry is the one I've seen most at tournaments and on tournament streams. So I feel like
I've played Dirty Harry the most out of all of those games. And if you were like, you have to pick one of these games to play right now. Okay, so if you ask me which one of the games that I had to like play immediately, like right now, I would probably play. Oh, you said Apollo 13. My brain said Twister.
Oh, I like Twister.
Twister's a great movie.
Twister's fun. I feel like it's one of those things where like, because I don't see Apollo 13s everywhere, I would
Apollo
probably
13 just sort of got the
towards,
gimmick, right?
Yeah, the 13 ball multi-ball. So I think the best game out of the 3 is going to be Dirty Harry. But if you put all 3 in a row, the game I would probably play first is Apollo 13.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sorry I did a poor job with this hurry up. I didn't ask very good hurry up questions, but I thought it was a lot of fun. Thank you guys.
Oh no, that's fun. And we would be the people who would, if you said like, shitty movie, shitty pin thing, we would probably disagree with any movie you bring up.
We need to get tickets to Barbed Wire.
Oh, that's true.
It's playing this month, and I don't know when, but I do want to see Barbed Wire on the big screen.
Because when somebody brings up the topic of like what pins are better than their movie, and they almost immediately go to Congo, I tell them they're wrong. Congo is an amazing movie.
Let's talk about Congo, because Congo is consistently in my shitty movie great pin, right? With Last Action Hero, Johnny Mnemonic. These are the ones that I've used already. But we'll talk about Congo for a second.
Fantastic movie.
You're out of your mind.
No, name me any other movie that has the same type of like wild out there sci-fi like
You
but
lost.
not so far fetched at as Congo. I'm like, you're never gonna see many movies where humans are interacting in English with a gorilla and like laser guns used for mining these diamonds that are protected by this like ancient race of like violent gorillas and stuff. Like no other movies like that. It's so unique in how it's put together. And then you have Tim Curry delivering some of the like most repeatable meme-esque lines, like the lost city of Zinj. And then you got Ernie Hudson and the whole like hippo
I forgot
attack.
about
Like,
Ernie
where
Hudson.
else have you learned that a hippo can attack like that? Right. Like, I would
The
say
news?
no, but like most people aren't going to see like hippo attacks in the news in the
Yes,
United
you are.
States. Oh, not
Oh,
unless they
yes.
jump into not unless they jump into like a zoo like enclosure.
Do you know how many people I watch on the internet die from jumping into tiger enclosures or getting out of their cars at drive-through safaris? So, have you been on the internet, Jordan? I know you have.
It's just a fun action movie that doesn't let up.
Well,
That it's so good.
nice to know that you love Congo. I think it's one of the worst movies ever when they're having conversation
Jamie,
with
let me tell you this.
with the
Whenever you think of a movie and you go, this is the worst movie. So just so you know your spectrum of movies, and you sit over and any normal
yeah.
human is over here with this movie is garbage. Just reverse that scale. Your one is Jordan's 10. And
All
then
right.
you'll understand
How I work.
how he
We should have
works.
done like
And
which shitty movie do you like out of what's your favorite shitty movie besides Congo? Starship Troopers.
But Starship Troopers is also a great movie, except for what's the actress's name?
Denise Richards,
Denise Richards.
Yeah,
If
she
you
was terrible
pull
in that.
all of Denise Richards out of Starship Troopers, it's the
which you
perfect
did.
movie, which I did. I edited Starship Troopers down to an hour and a half and took out all of Denise Richards, and it's a fantastic movie.
Okay, that's really
This
great.
is my life now. Yeah, this
I'm gonna
is
end
my
it
life,
back 'cause
Jamie.
That's like so
I
perfect.
come home every day to new movie trailers.
Oh yeah. Well,
Where-
so it's part of our other hobby that's been around for a long time, and even before we got into pinball, which is there's a local comedy movie mocking group in Austin called Master Pancake Theater,
And they're also on Twitch.
and they're also on Twitch. So every pretty much Thursday, Friday night,
I don't
they're
know, look at their
showing
Facebook.
something. Yeah. And so anyway, they've been mocking movies, and they do this thing called Choose Your Own Pancake, where basically the audience will bring in a movie, and they'll narrow it down to 10 or 12 that are submitted to them before everything starts. Those 10 or 12 people then go up front and pitch the movie. They have a minute to a minute and a half to pitch a movie, right? And we've got a backlog of movies that we've pitched. We've got notes and stuff written all out on how our pitch goes. Becca's won like 6 of them. I've won 7 of them. And we're going to one this Friday.
I don't even know what I'm going to pitch yet.
I'm pitching Magic Mike XXL because it is the perfect 4th of July movie. And yeah, I see you blinking, but it's
You got to put this on stream, man. I got to see you pitch these movies.
oh yeah. So I've won with Mortal Kombat. I've won with Hurricane Heist, Reindeer Games, Hypnotic, which is another Ben Affleck movie.
Movie's terrible.
Yeah, and then some episodes of TV because
But is it, or is it the best movie ever created, Jamie?
Oh, I haven't seen the pitch, Rebecca, so I don't know. I can't.
Well, she's pitched stuff like Dungeons and Dragons 2000,
Which
Secretary.
Secretary's a good
good.
movie.
Secretary's
good.
Um,
Signs.
Signs.
I've won with
You
Signs.
haven't yet won with Full Court Miracle.
I really, really want Full Court Miracle to win. Which, if you ever want to know the story of Hanukkah as told by a Disney Channel original movie with a middle school basketball team,
Okay.
That's your movie.
that's your movie.
I want to
It's the
pitch
best.
basketball that from the
So
guy-
Oh, I know that movie.
So basketball is great. They would reject it just on the grounds that it's a comedy. And so comedians don't typically want to mock comedies, like straight comedies.
Okay. All right, I'll get the feel for this. This is a world I can't go down. I can't go down.
Yeah, it's
Not
trust
at
me,
all.
it's a big rabbit hole. Like I spend a lot of time trying to like sort through movies. Like for this 4th of July one coming up, I was like, oh, maybe I should do I Know What You Did Last Summer because it all happens during 4th of July.
Right.
And they just this morning posted tickets to a regular run of them mocking I Know What You Did Last Summer on Friday and Saturday. So I immediately texted Becca and I'm like, well, there goes that idea.
All right. I'm
And what's funny is that what is amusing to me.
Okay.
I always like to say it's funny, and Jordan's like, that's not funny. And I'm like, I am amused with it, therefore it is funny. I've been very amused because So I've been doing a lot of travel women's stuff, which has been awesome. Like I came down to the women's weekend in Houston, the San Antonio Pinball Rodeo. I really wish I could go to like the Neon Ranch Rodeo up in Canada at the start of August this year, but there's just literally no feasible way that I could do it. I love my ladies in pinball, but anytime I go to a women's weekend, I guarantee you there is a choose your own pancake that is also that weekend that I don't get to go to because I'm playing in an awesome like multi-day women's tournament. And like, which is when you won with what? Was it Hypnotic?
Hypnotic and also Are You Afraid of the Dark
Oh
episode.
yeah, and Are You Afraid of the Dark episode. So I think I just have to settle with Jordan is going to win more movie mocking stuff than me because
I have
I
more
prioritize.
chances.
He has more chance. I prioritize my ladies pinball.
Yeah,
Jordan.
that's fair.
I have friends.
That's fair.
Oh, be nice.
You have friends too.
Well, listen, when will I see you guys again? Houston Arcade?
Yeah, or at least me. I don't know if there's more wormhole stuff for Becca to go to, but
Are you guys doing any big? I did not get to go to the Barrels of Fun
Oh yeah, that was
tournament,
nice.
sponsored tournament. Instead I was churning out trophies for our last Epic Fun tournament. And I think planning for goodness knows whatever tournament I was planning for. Yeah, what you got going on?
We
What's up?
have, we're under construction right now. I think we're
Yeah.
going to take it a little easy with just our 3 days a month up until October. And then we've got, of course, the Houston Arcade Expo. Then we're going to the expo, and then Halloween weekend, I think we're going to do our Bayou Bash here. So those are the big events.
Awesome.
And
I
then,
think
of
I want to
course,
do Bayou Bash. I think that was what it was that I was thinking of in October. That was my extra thing of October. That has to be what it was.
yeah, I think so. Because, we party it up and we do all the costumes and best costume prizes and all that crap. So it's really so fun. And then, of course, what we're doing in Houston, we have a downtown location, which is going to be Wormhole East, and then that'll be part of the museum function.
I'm really excited for that for you.
that'll be neat.
I just need to
It's
drag Jordan down for a weekend.
just come and
Yeah.
I'll show. I'll tell you what. Here's what we'll do while we're wrapping up. Houston Arcade Expo. Come, I'll open up the wormhole for you. You can check the joint out by yourself, and then we'll show you the vault with some of the rare titles.
Okay.
And you can geek on some of this shit because it's really, really cool and what we've got coming up in the next 2 to 3 years. So, all
Y'all
right,
should
guys.
buy some pre-wars for the place.
All right. I don't know. I'm the streamer. You got to talk to the people above me. They're really good at that. They're good at buying.
You got to talk to the upper management, Jordan.
The upper management.
Yeah.
Yeah, I stay on the streaming lane, but guys, this was always fun. Really appreciate you. I can't wait for you to start streaming again. I know we just got to find the time, and life's gotten in the way. But once you get back into it, I know you're gonna love it because you play off of each other very, very well. You do a great job, and I can't wait to hopefully one day get a
One day
notification.
we'll come back stupider and more obscure than ever.
I want to see that notification on my phone, and I go, yes.
I still have Flarp.
See, you
Are
got
we showing stuff again? Look at this one. This is a good one. This one I have. This one's a good one. Oh, and this was the one that we did for Labyrinth. Here, Jordan. Yeah, you got the part stuff. Hold up the cool stuff that I made. Hold up the cool stuff. Look at that one. I made pies. I haven't won this one. This is for our tournament on Wednesday. And
Ooh.
then
Jamie's like, I was trying to sign off, and now you're
No, it's okay.
I have super glue. It's fine. That's fine. I'm just breaking shit. It's cool.
Guys,
anyway.
Man.
Yeah, we'll be back at some point.
thanks so
Brown.
much.
Stupid stuff.
It's
And if
great.
anybody's ever in Austin, they want to hang out or like go play pinball or whatever, we here.
Well,
Unless we ain't.
the Austin community, especially your Bells and Chimes community, is really fantastic there. So congratulations.
Thank
on
you.
continuing
I
to do
appreciate
that.
it.
And
We've worked really hard.
well, we love having you at the Worm too. Any Bells and Chimes event that we host here, Space Camp that you've always come to and always generously get on my stream and move my rig. So thank you so much for that, Rebecca.
Yeah. Did you ever find that bat?
What bat?
The bat. So I left an Amazon box with a 3D printed bat inside of it.
He's just like checking right now.
I'm looking
No.
around here.
No. It was on the spot with like all the t-shirts and stuff on
Oh,
the other wall. There's an Amazon box that I left at Space Camp.
Well, finders keepers now. So
Well, no, I told you that if you
enjoy your
can
new
that
bat.
you can keep the 3D printed bat. You just have to hide it somewhere.
I'll hide it. I don't
Okay.
even know where the hell it is, but I'll
Yeah.
find it.
If
This
I
place
come
isn't
down to
even
the
that
wormhole
big.
and I find it, I will die laughing.
You will, because that's just how we are here. People just all of a
I
sudden
love this.
shit, and we lose shit all the time here. It's really weird.
I lose everything all the time.
It's weird.
Well,
That's a
you need to
cribbage board.
ADHD prove yourself. You just get like, it's like I have like 5 pairs of glasses because if I put them down and I walk away from them, ideally there'll be another pair of glasses that I've previously put down within arm's reach. Like I have
I
like
did
6 pairs of scissors.
I did text a friend today asking, "Hey, does your Ghostbusters that I sold you a year and a half ago, 2 years ago, still have the coin box?" And he said, "No." I'm like, "I think I just found it."
Yeah, that's no bueno. Poor guy.
Yeah.
All right,
He's up the
guys.
street.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you both so much. Can't wait to get that notification one day soon. And I'll see you both again at Houston Arcade Expo.
See you then.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
As always, that was fun. I really love this podcast, and you guys must like it as well because the numbers are really growing. And thank you so much for all your support and all the nice IMs and emails that we've received over the course of the last few months. It means a lot. It helps. And quick turnaround this week. This podcast was originally scheduled for the end of July, but I had an opening, and Jordan and Becca were kind with their schedule. So number 34 is going to be followed very quickly by number 35. Co from Quarter Drop Arcade is recording with me on Wednesday. So we'll have that probably out the day after July 4th. So 2 podcasts this week. I actually had to pause this outro, and I had to pause a few times before I started with them because I just got back from New York and I saw family and I representing the Met, and my New York accent is out of control. And for some reason, somehow on the plane, I forgot to pronounce my R's. So I'm getting better. Better pronunciation will come in the next few podcasts. Uh, don't be afraid to go back and listen to some of our older episodes. You know, we don't really talk about shark eating ball or any of those things. So the interviews really still hold up. You can download those anywhere you get podcasts, or videos are up on the Wormhole Pinball YouTube channel. Wormhole remodel number 1 is complete. We've almost done with all the signs here. And we're going to be streaming this Saturday at our July 4X, at least the last few rounds, or as soon as I get eliminated, which will probably be very quickly because my game has gone to complete shit. Follow us on all the socials, Twitch and YouTube. Lots of content coming as we're documenting the progress of the Wormhole East and the Wormhole itself. So good stuff there. All right, for Wormhole Pinball, I am Jamie Birchall. And remember, our number 1 rule here at the Wormhole, don't be an asshole.